Council. I'm your host, Trev, and here we are with the Peanut Butter Disaster All-Stars. Rhinus at my left, Caleb at my right, and we're going to be talking about Episode 9 of Season 8 of Doctor Who, Flatline. Rhinus, so I can tell you're just raring to go. What do you got to say about this episode?
I say latest and greatest. This is absolutely, without a doubt, my favorite episode thus far. And I would actually go so brazen to say probably one of my favorite episodes of all time. This one was really good.
Caleb?
I liked it. It had a nice horror movie feel to it. And, you know, like I was telling you earlier, I mean, it's probably the best one. It's really got me hooked on Doctor Who. It's probably my 4th episode I've seen, so it's great.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely one that gets its hooks in you. It's got some good scariness in
Oh, it had a lot of, oh god, moments.
You know, I mean, it's certainly not the first science fiction property to discuss the idea of, two-dimensional beings, but I haven't seen that idea beaten to death just yet, so this is still really nice and fresh.
That was a long, long time since I've seen this one crop up, and, well, I guess I'll save that comment for something there.
Okay. So first off, you know, I want to address this right away. You know, apparently the producers of Doctor Who have been watching our show, as we all know.
As they should be.
Everyone on the planet is watching our programs here at Peanut Butter Disaster, and they liked our show so much, they knew they had to get a similar prop to what we have
tiny
right
TARDIS.
here. Get a little tiny TARDIS out
yes.
there. It's, yeah, we gotta, you know, we can...
Is he in there?
Oh, he might be.
No, you don't want... You know what, it's time locked. Let's just leave it there.
Alright.
Oh, timey wimey. Like he said.
But, no, that was kind of an interesting premise off the get-go. I like that the Doctor admitted it right away that this was something that even he didn't really know was
I like that line. I like that line. It's like... Sorry. The whole... You know, this is something I don't know, and that doesn't happen very much, so just let me enjoy it. I like that line. That was creative.
Yeah. And it definitely, you know, puts Clara in an interesting situation for once.
Oh, Clara the Doctor!
Yeah, where she really had to stand on her own. And I think that, you know, we're kind of seeing a very intelligent build-up through this season where Clara's been being asked questions by Danny, by the Doctor, even by, you know, herself to others about, you know, what is she being made into by the Doctor? What is she learning, you know? And, you know, and I guess, I think we really saw her kind of step up as an officer.
There's a couple of real, good character development scenes with her tonight, like when she's holding up the TARDIS thing, and she goes, "What would the Doctor do? No, what would I do?" And it's like, oh, you're growing, see?
It's what I like. The last few episodes, it seems like, you know, they've always discussed, you know, his point of view. You know, she seems to not really understand him, and to be put into that role, I think she's really kind of taken walked in his shoes, you know, so to speak.
This is an honor. Does this mean I'm you now?
No, it does not.
The Boneless, as the Doctor has dubbed them now, apparently.
Was that the end all power? Was that it, that he named them? Did they really pull that old trick out again?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did they use the naming trick? Was that really what that was at the end?
Giving something a name or something like it can be a symbolically powerful act, and I'm glad that paid off.
And they have used it before. The Doctor has pulled that trick out of the hat before.
Or he names something and seems to gain some kind of bizarre control over it by doing so. But yeah, the Boneless from the Flatland.
I like it. I like that name, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know. This is probably the scariest new monster on Doctor Who I've seen in a long time.
I think that's a point that needs to be addressed right away. It's a new monster.
Yep.
It's new. They did the no Daleks, no Cybermen. They actually popped something new out there, and you know, just from my point of view at least, was fucking terrifying in all the aspects of it, because they kind of had this whole metamorphosis throughout as the episode goes, and at every single turn they're scary as all get out. At least to me. I mean, it's like
they use that stop that kind of jerky motion that I remember from the House on Haunted Hill or
a
something.
lot of stuff used but they used it way more
freaks me out.
effectively. I mean, it wasn't just like somebody shaking their head really, really fast, It was terrifying.
A natural disjointed movement that your eyes.
They're kind of,
I believe
level or terrorists.
Well, they're turning your own perception against you. You know that's not what people are supposed to move like, and your brain is just firing that. That's not what people move like. That looks wrong.
Well,
you're looking at them.
While we were watching it, our friend Ryan Goey, so I'm giving you credit, Ryan, popped out the moniker of glitch zombies. I love that.
Yeah.
That's to me is going to be the placeholder for these guys, the glitch zombies, because that's exactly what they were, and terrifying.
Personally, I hope that this is only the first of the Flatlanders, the Boneless's incursions into our dimension.
It's gonna have to come later.
Oh, I don't want it to come
way later.
I don't want it to come right away, but what's nice about this is we saw them kind of start to evolve throughout the episode. In what they knew and how they could represent themselves in this world until they figured out how to make themselves into 3D representations. I'm interested to see how far that's going to progress. Are they going to be able to make themselves look roughly indistinguishable from a human, like the Ottons, perhaps? Or are they going to kind of remain something dark and mysterious? They're going to have to strike a good balance.
The question is, are they actually going to be able to do anything? Because as it is proposed or full on said in the episode, they're draining dimensional energy off of the TARDIS. Was the TARDIS the catalyst that actually, they were already there, but the TARDIS showing up was what really set the dominoes in action, and that's what really happened there. It just raises too many questions,
The question that must never be answered.
Something I'd like to bring up about this.
Sure.
This episode just seemed a lot darker. And I mean, maybe not in the overall tone, but some in the overall tone, but there was just a lot of lines that were just like, wow, that's freaking dark. Like, when Clara is like, well, how am I going to keep all these people alive? And the doctor says, welcome to my world. It's like, jeez. Take a Xanax, Doc.
Or some good people died and some not so great people survived.
Yeah, the wrong people survived.
The supervisor of that
dick. That guy was the worst. But yeah,
just like a firefighter, the tall trees survived in the underbrush fires. It's like
the doctor full on says maybe the wrong people survived. Like,
it's harsh.
Oh damn, that's dark. I mean, there was just a lot of kind of serious moments in this one, especially where I think the doctor effectively kind of being taken out of the solution. He was just really just there spouting ideas and not really being there to be the leader this time.
Yeah.
Clara really had to show some chops. And speaking of which, are you still hating Clara even now after this one?
Well,
are you still on the fuck Clara boat?
As I hinted earlier, I really like this turn for her where she's kind of in this position where she has to be the doctor, the person who's calling the shots, the person who's coming up with ideas and combating the evil. Having her kind of becoming a more doctorly sort of role than previous companions. I'm really seeing her grow, and I like that. However...
However, here we go.
However...
Here's the other shoe.
This is late coming for the character. There's a lot of indications that she's leaving the show soon. It's a real shame that they waited this long to start doing interesting things with one of the characters.
I think it's okay. But what I was going to actually, like I said, I'll refute you later, where you said she had to be the doctor, and you said, talking about how the doctor does good and everything. The doctor even says, when she goes, why can't you just say that I was a good doctor? He goes, you were an exceptional doctor. Goodness had nothing to do with it. Holy freaking dark! Just drop the curtains. Good night, folks. Holy shit! Talk about dark. I mean,
it seems to follow a trajectory. I mean, especially with the Moon episode. He left him and he said, this is your decision.
Right.
He's kind of left it to them, and he's been telling her all along she's had to make the hard choices. goodness has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
She has to.
Well, this is arguably a much more realistic Doctor. They've suggested pretty heavily in the first episode that he's less concerned with making everybody like him. And the line in this episode that intrigued me was the line about the lies. Was the little dialogue kind of thing about the lies, about how, you know, well, I guess I'm gonna have to start lying to these people. It's like, yeah. Because, you know,
you'll make a great doctor.
That's what we said,
something to that effect at that point.
Well, it's like, yeah, well, that's what you have to do, because people who are feel like they're doomed tend to be less able to escape, tend to dawdle and run away. And people who think that there's a fighting chance tend to be trying to survive. And that's the thing, is that, you know, sometimes the truth isn't what these people need in these situations in order to survive. And, you know, that's a difficult pill for a lot of people to swallow. The concept where they're really comfortable with the idea that sometimes a lie is better for the situation at hand. Like you said, lying is a useful survival tool.
Oh yes.
Well, the mummy, the space mummy, the space train mummy, that was exactly that right there. She lied to the flapper lady.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you know, yeah, he has a chance to save you, but you know. She admitted to it, but that's how the only reason that she could get her going. So. In
fact, though, I think it kind of does show again that like it's taking Claire an exceptionally long time to kind of figure out what's going on here, because it actually took her until she was kind of forced into sort of doctorly shoes to realize the value of, you know, telling a lie to get the job done and save the fucking day. Like, before that, she's just indignant. Oh, he's a liar. He's lying. And it's like, he's not lying because he feels good about it. He's lying because he's trying to save lives, damn it. You know? Necessary evils, right? Yep.
How about that horrible lie on the seat there? I'm fine, I'm just helping him with his auntie.
Oh, my God. It's not, well, I hate to say it, she was heaving, and so it sounded like... Surprised Danny didn't accuse her of being with some other guy. Like there was some heavy breathing and kind of.
But no, he shows us what a stand-up guy Dan is. Are you in trouble? Is something wrong? He doesn't even go with it because
he skips right over. I'm mad at you for lying to me about being okay. Do you need help? You know. So yeah.
In your eyes, how is Vivaldi standing up to the rest of the doctors now? Now that we've got some real time to sit around and chum it up, you know, watch some football and drink a couple beers with them.
Well, I think that Capaldi's doing a really great job. He's definitely made it his own Doctor. There's shades of inspiration from previous Doctors, which is not a new tradition that's been going on since there have been. Like, you know, like I would say even John Pertwee was cribbing a lot of notes from you know, William Hartnell's era. But yeah, I mean, he's taking inspiration. He's doing something really interesting and unique. It's a different Doctor than we're used to. I think he's going to make a lasting impression, and I think it's going to overall be pretty positive.
Very good, yeah.
I think actually with this episode tonight, he's really starting to really get like, this is who my Doctor is going to be finally in line. You know, you know, there's been a lot of callback and a lot of like comforting, you know, common Doctor techniques and whatnot to keep everybody entertained. But there's one line in particular, and I'm sure you guys will remember it, but like when he finally pops out of the TARDIS and he's given the big final confrontation and names the Boneless, and he says, "I am the man. You are all monsters, and that is the role that you seem to want to fill. Well, I am the man who fights the monsters." That one to me was him really just finally really owning it, you know?
So in a way, he wasn't just naming the Boneless, he was also sort of naming himself, sort of giving himself identity.
I go along with that.
And a good solid declaration. And I think that's about as good of a kind of wrap-up note as we're going to get. It's been great having you again here this week. Join us next week. We're going to take a look and see what happens, what kind of kooky, crazy adventures the Doctor and Claire are going to get into. And hopefully you'll join us. So have yourselves a great night. Bye-bye.
Peanut butter disaster.